Hi, I'm Belinda and welcome to Belinda's Baubles, episode 31. Today is September 24th, 2025. It's about 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. I am coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas, here in the United States. And welcome to my little bit of crazy. Today seems to be a turning point in our weather, because we're going to start getting cooler evenings, it looks like, at least for the next week. And I am excited because I can at least put on some vests and hats. And I have been going a little hat bat crazy since I saw you last. All the information on how to reach me or find me is down below and in the description box. So I won't go over all of that, but you can pretty much find me under Belinda's Baubles anywhere that I am. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to some new subscribers. I really appreciate having some new subscribers join in, and I hope you're having a fun time with me because I am really enjoying you being here. I love hearing comments or starting conversations, so throw it out there, talk to me. That's part of why I became a YouTuber, was to meet more people, and I have. So that is just a fun thing for me. It's been a minute and a half again since I've been on here, and this time it has nothing to do with Sam, my husband, or my dad. It has all been because of me, but I'm okay. At least as okay as I'm going to be. And I'll explain a little bit of that in the at the end in the Life Happens section. So, what should we start with? Okay, let me start with my cutest thing. So, I'm going to be using my computer a lot. I didn't even print out because I've been trying to start this. I've had my notes for about a week and a half, and it hasn't happened for me. So I'm going to be looking down a bunch just to get all my information from my computer, so bear with me. I am paying attention to you, and I do know you're there, and I appreciate you being there. So, finished objects. I have a few. Some of them are machine knit, some of them are hand knit, and also I have crochet. So most of what I have done, I don't know, I just got a wild hair and I went to town. So here, let's start with the crochet. He's so cute. Okay, so this is the Cuddle Me Dinosaur Amigurumi by Yarn Over with Natasha Smuts. Let me pull my notes up here on him. He's here somewhere. Aha. So I use the 4mm and for G-hook for most of him, because I am using Circulo Jeans is the main color here in black, which I would say is a worsted. Yeah, a worsted weight, because it's 158.4 yards to 110 grams. And I use just 1.1 skein to make him. Now, I have used some scraps in here too, which the lime green is some Cascade Yarn Anthem. And I had some white Circulo left over that I doubled up. But look at his toes. And then I just had some fuzzy green yarn that I added in for his belly. Got a few dots in a few different places. And he's only partially stuffed because he is a lovey, basically. and he's for cuddling. So his belly is all unstuffed, whereas his head, which I did painted on eyes, and I have, if you're interested in doing amigurumi painted on eyes, then I have a video tutorial that I will link down below. And even if you look closely, you can see his little nostrils. Let's see if I can get him to where you can see them. Here we go. He has little bumps there for his nostrils. And he's just so much fun. The legs, the tail, the head. Now, I did have to do a little bit of adjustment. The way that the neck is attached and everything, he was just falling over like that constantly. So I did come back in and I crocheted an extra layer all around his head so that he does stand up a little better. Isn't he cute? And I did make this for one of my great nephews who was visiting. Unfortunately, we didn't connect on the trip, but I'm a little bit ahead for his first birthday. And Circulo, the jeans yarn, is 100% cotton, I think. We double check that. I'm remembering it right. Oh, okay, it's considered Aran because it's 8 wraps per inch. And it's 144 yards. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. That was how much I used. So it's 144 yards or 132 meters per 100 gram. And I had used more. And it is 100% cotton, and it's plied and heathered, and it's machine washable. I just want to sit here and play and let him dance and just have fun with him. And I don't know if my great nephew is ever going to get a hold of him because I'm having too much fun with him. They better come get him. Okay. Let me get him. He wants to fall over. Hold on. Let me get him in the bowl so he can watch. Okay. So, next up, I'm just going to kind of break down through here. Let's go to my oldest whip, knit whip. I don't think I have any crocheted whips. No. Crocheting is so much faster. You get it done. Knitting, takes longer. So this happens to be the very first thing that I tried to knit other than just a little tiny scarf that was my learning piece. And so I cast this on in January of 2019. And I finally completed it September 4th, 2025. I was going for a baby blanket. And being the first time I cast on, I wasn't looking at a pattern or anything. I was just practicing my cast on and practicing my garter stitch. So this was going to be the cast on edge for a baby blanket. Are you seeing the issue? I don't even know what the yarn is for sure. I bought it at Walmart, but I think it was like a baby mandala because it was a big cake, and I used 2 of them, and then I finished it off with some Knit Picks acrylic. Yeah, because I wanted it just a little bit longer. So it has become a wrap or a shawl, but this is my crochet or my knitting journey right here. Anytime I just wanted something that I wasn't stressed over, I would pick it up. It's a nice size to just cuddle in. And I would just pick it up and work on it. But it got to the point that I was just like, okay, I'm done with this. I want it done. See if I can throw it back there. So this is now going to be my wrap myself piece for this fall, winter, or whenever. So I started this as, you know, a practice piece. And then in March of 2020, I started my first knit along with On the Lamb Yarn Shop during COVID on Zoom. So I put it away and started working on other things. So then I just bring it back out every once in a while. And what did I use for needles? I used a US 8 5mm needle most of the time. I started it on fixed needles and then won some circular needles. So I put it over on that. Then I kneaded them again, and I just kind of went back and forth. So I kind of got lost in the midst. But I think I did about an inch in there somewhere and a different size needle. But, you know, it's just for me. It's just to throw on, and it works, and it's warm, and it's comfortable. And with the fact that it's acrylic, I can just throw it around, and it doesn't matter. So, yes. Oldest whip that was still on the needles is off. Yeah, I think 6 years is a bit long. But, you know, they're out there. They're fun. Let's get them done. Yeah, all my other finished objects are going to be hats. Now, I have more content than that. I promise you that. But so, shall we start? Let's start with the machine ones. Now, I have a Sentro that I bought from Temu, or however it's supposed to be said. I think it's Temu, isn't it? I bought it when they first started coming around, and so I got it pretty cheap. So I figured it would be a chance for me to kind of test it out, try it out. I've made a few hats on it. I got really frustrated, and I put it away for the longest time. And then I got it back out because Mandy with Mandy Von Knits, she has been using up and doing what I was wanting to do with it to begin with, was make donation hats or gift hats, things like that, that could just come about quickly. And so that was the purpose that I really wanted to work with it and to just try it out. But I got frustrated with it. I would try some yarns, some would work, some wouldn't, and it just aggravated me. So Mandy was talking a little bit about some of her aggravations with it and some of the things that she had done. And so I was like, okay, let's go back to this. So to start with, I have a Cascade Yarn Anthem lineup here in neons. There is, I had them written down somewhere because it doesn't really say the names on here. Where did I write that? Okay, so this one is either lime or neon green. We have goldfish, neon guava, and this was, I had it here. I honestly did. I wrote it on, neon grape. I did have it written down on a scrap thing. So let's take these out. So this one, you can see, is kind of a smaller one. I was just using up what was left from the dinosaur to make kind of a baby toddler hat, because this will also go to the great nephew. So I was just using up what was left, and it works. Plenty of warmth there. It'll grow with them, stretch with them. Whereas these three, I did something a little different. Let's get rid of all my cuffs here. They were just for me to show you anyways. And line these up. I think that's the way they go. Yeah, this is the way they go. These are unblocked. And what I did was there are 3 places on the knitting machine for your tension. So I did the tightest tension, medium tension, and the loosest tension. And I wanted to see how much of a difference it would make. And it made quite a bit of difference there. You know, the loosest tension, like I said, I haven't blocked it, but it is kind of a, you know, it's a little uneven. You can see where I've gotten frustrated with it and everything. And the Anthem yarn, Cascade Anthem yarn, it's a pretty soft yarn. It's 100% acrylic. You get 186 yards to 100 grams. It's machine washable on warm even, and tumble dry. So it's a hardy yarn. So you've got, that would definitely fit and stretch out for a guy. This one, I tried these on Seaver. This one fit him the best. This one was a little on the tight side, and this one was very tight for him. So, but they gave a good amount. As far as the purpose, I had bought this yarn originally was our daughter was taking the kids hiking and walking in woods with some other kids and everything. And I had made one neon one and given it to our grandson. And it helped. You could find the kids. So these are great. You know, these neon hats are really great to give as gifts to for kids and everything to wear out on the playground and in the woods so that parents can find them. Okay, so there were 10 hats in all, by the way, because I actually have 2 hats that I don't have here with me. And the one that started me doing this was one of my pharmacist bosses. She was clearing some stuff out because they were moving, and her daughter had tried crocheting, and it just didn't take for her. So she had some old red heart, and I'll put a picture here, just in, what is this? Day Glow Neon. And I don't know how old this stuff was. You know, it was the older feeling red heart, but the hat turned out great. And so she had just given it to the yarn to me, said, here, you know, you can have this. And what I did was I used it to test out again, me doing the hats. I knit it up and I took it back to her and I'm like, here, do you want your yarn back? So her daughter now has the hat off at college with her. So, and let's see here, this was one skein, got it here somewhere. It's worsted, 100% acrylic, 236 yards to 141 grams. So this was one that was going to, it doubled up, it slouched, it did all sorts of stuff. And it was just a fun hat. So I had that one. And then I have a bonus sister, one of my little sisters. She is actually from Japan and is out here visiting us right now. So I wanted to send something to kind of warm her up while she goes home. And so I did some experimenting with hand-dyed yarn on the knitting machine. I had never done that before. I was always like, okay, this is for me to enjoy. But I have a stash, and I might as well get some of it used and some of it gifted. And this was just a quicker thing because I timed myself. For me, it takes me 1 hour to make a hat. That's cranking it out, casting it off, sewing it together, all of that to make just, a tube hat. And these are just doubled up. And I just cinched the tops because I'm more likely to put a pom-pom on it. Some I sewed together, some I didn't. So anyways, this is me and Yumi. Isn't she cute? We had a great visit, I think. But this was knit up with dye to spin. She's no longer dyeing right now. I understand she's thinking about maybe coming back, and I would love for her to. Hint, hint. But it's 246 yards to 100 grams, 100% superwash merino. It was called Here Comes the Sun, and this was the 2020 Yarn Crawl exclusive for Juju Knits. And it is just so, so soft. And I threw a snap-on, sewed on a snap-on pom-pom onto it so that she can wash it, hand wash it when she needs to. Then I made this one for me. And this was yarn from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. And I met up with her at the one-day retreat that I went to back in January. And this is DK sock. And I was wanting to see also, instead of just worsted and Aran, what it was like using DK. And I really like the DK using the middle tension. And it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 245 yards to 100 grams. And it's Northern Cardinal. It was a sock set. And so I have a mini to go with it, but I wanted this in the hat. And I love how it has striped up. And then I had also bought this pom-pom because I did want it as a hat. And I had originally thought I would use the black for the brim and everything, but no. This made a very tall hat, because I'm doubled over here. Okay, so my hat is, or my hair is air dried, so that's why I'm not taking it off. But I tested it on one of Seaver's friends, and who has a large head, and he was able to stretch it out and put it on, no issues, and wanted to know when he could have one himself. So it fits a wide range of adult heads. I haven't tested it on any kids, but I think the DK is going to be my go-to. And as far as cranking it, the wool yarns were a dream. I did try one other yarn that I wanted to do, and it was a mess and horrible, and I put it away. But when I did a vest last year out of king coal, I had some left over. So this was one of their winter. I've got the notes, my Ravelry notes down below. So I'll have in there what the yarn is and everything, or put it down below here, right here. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. But it just came out so cute. And this is 100% acrylic. So that's all of the cranked out hats. Then I still have a few more. Okay, show you this one first. This is based off of the Sockhead Slouch Hat. And again, get my notes here. Where did it go? And I have a couple of friends that are going through chemo right now. So I wanted to make them, and this is my favorite hat that I've made before for chemo patients. And this is just my favorite hat to go to for it. I've made two different versions. This one is more of a slouchy. This was what I had left over of this yarn. And it does cover the ears. And the person that I made this for was saying that her head was getting cold at night. And so it's basically for at bedtime or, things along those lines. But I made a little bit of a change on both of these. I added an I-cord. Take this off. I added an I-cord loop. And it's just a 4-stitch I-cord. And this is why I did it. I have ordered a couple of charms for these individuals, and the charms have not arrived yet. But I'm wanting to go ahead and get the hats to them. But I did about 3 inches, 2 inches here and 3 inches here of ribbing. On this one, I just did a little bit of seed stitching and followed it on up. But I wanted them to be able, they can still add pom-poms if they want to, or I wanted them to be able to have these little charms dangling because they're things that I think are for them. And so I made it with Cascade Heritage Neon sock weight. And I really love how the decreases come out. And I didn't quite have enough to finish it off. So that's why I had this little pop from a mini that I had just in my mini stash. I'm trying to think whose this was. Okay, I'll put down here below what it is, but I just used a little bit off of there to finish it off. And I've just put it, just to show you how I wanted her to be able to put charms on it. So I've got those two done. And yeah, I did very different lengths. This one just goes over the ears. This is more of a slouchy hat. So 2 different personalities I thought they would go good with in that manner. And I used up what I had left of this. No more of that particular yarn is in my stash. At least not in that color. Then Knit Picks was having a sale, and I had been wanting to try the wool of the Andes. Bill had given me a little bit to that he had recouped and washed and everything, but I wanted some that had not been washed. So I just ordered 2 50-gram skeins. I have one that I'm working on here. And this is the worsted weight Blossom Heather, 110 yards to 50 grams. And it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. And I wanted to just test out and see how I reacted. This is part of my ongoing year-long project of trying different non-superwash wools to see how I react to it. I'm giving you a hint here. But there is some more information to come. Because like I said, it is a year-long, and I still have a couple more I want to try. And I love, now I did a rapid decrease on this. This is the Nautilus 1954 watch cap by Jolene Munoz. And it's a free pattern. She's designed it for U.S. submariners, and it's supposed to be using 150 to 200 yards. And as you can see, I just wanted something to do the 50 grams with. I did make it in, which one size did I use? Well, it would help if I went back to mine instead of hers. Hold on. Okay, so I did it in a size large. It does cover my ears just using the 50 grams. And I would put a pom-pom on it, but I wanted you to be able to see what these decreases looked like. And I decreased each row since I just had a little bit left. And I used that entire 50 gram. I think I had about that much left was all. But I really do like this as a beanie hat, especially for, it's designed to, be doubled over and everything. And I want to go back and make some for donation because that's what she designed the pattern for. But still, I'm using it for my own purposes too. Now I used, so it's 110 yards, for 50 grams. I used a US 9 5.5 millimeter, whereas she calls, I think, let me see what it says on here. Yeah, she calls for a 4.5 millimeter. So it's a little stretched out, but I really do like this. And just as a single layer hat, it's very warm. And then, shall we go ahead? That is it, I think, for my finished objects. So I'm just going to add a little tiny of new construction right here just because this is also the Nautilus 1954 watch cap. And I am using Wool of the Andes Tweed limited edition in worsted weight. Again, it's going to be the 50 grams. I've just gotten started on it, but I thought the color might go good, really good. Lighting's kind of weird in here today because it's cloudy outside. Rain's coming and going. But help if I show you the right side. There we go. And this is 80% Peruvian Highland wool and 20% Donegal tweed. 110 yards to 50 grams in golden palm. So that's one of the next hats on the go. I have one more hat to show you that I'm working on, but it's one that's been around for a while because it's part of the Christmas stuff. Okay, so let me double check myself, see if I've missed anything in my notes. Let's see. Nope. So we are on to under construction. And this room is a mess. I am a mess at the moment. And excuse me while I go get my projects. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the last hat I'm going to discuss. And then I'll get you more content, I promise. This is the Unexpected Turn Advent hat from 2024. And I'm using the Scrappy Advent that I had last year. And I'm picking it up every once in a while and just doing a little bit. So I wanted to show you my progress. So I'm actually day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm into day 7. So I'll put a picture here of what it's going to look like. So it's a hat that goes into a scarf and trails around and follows you, and it'll be like a pet. But I've got all these nice color blocks, and I decided to put a little bit different stripe in here. So I am splitting these up, and I did 10 grams. I'll do about 10 grams of this, and I'll go back into the gray. And so these two will get split apart. But I am working on it again. And it's fun. It's just a fun thing to kind of just add in a little bit at a time. And this has now become my project that I keep in my in the car, because this used to be my car project. So this is now my new car project that I'm working on. And the Unexpected Turn, let's see, like I said, it was by Helen Bingham. It was from her 2024 Advent, and it is a free pattern. So it uses 3mm and 3.75mm. So the 3mm was for the ribbing, and then the 3.75mm just go round and round and round until I get to the point that I want to decrease it down into the tip. Okay. So now I am done with hats, at least for today. Next up, so my other two items that I'm working on the most is a summer and a winter project. The summer one I'm hoping to have done by next summer. Okay, so let me go back because I just realized I had my microphone doing some weird things. I've lost my magnet, so I have it attached to a crocheted necklace that my great aunt made me when I was a little girl. So I'm just using that to hold it up. And I just showed you the Aconite by Audrey Borrego pounding on the microphone. So let's not do that. Instead, let's use a hanger. Okay. So I've started on the back. I've done this much of the back. This is where the back starts. And the rest of this is all the front. With kind of a herringbone pattern here that goes throughout. I am using Bashful Armadillo, 100% Sea Cell, and Shark Attack as my contrast color. And my main color is undyed Swiss Mountain Fiber. This is their Sea Cell and Silk. So I'm hoping by next summer I will have a top that will be nice and cool and comfortable. Okay. So this is the front, and it is ready on the front to be joined down here once I get there. And it still has ribbing to come through here. And then I'll just do some ribbing for the sleeves to make it short sleeve. But I really do love this pattern. It is free as one of the ones that Audrey Borrego, when she has stopped designing for right now. I don't know if she'll start up again or not, but she's offered these for free on Ravelry. And so there's just not pattern support, but there's enough people out there that are working with her patterns that we can support each other in the community, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm excited about how much I've gotten done because this is, this is super fine fingering, and it's slippery and everything, and this part because it's silk, whereas, and if you're concerned about it bleeding onto each other, it really shouldn't, because before I caked it up, I took the Sea Cell and I soaked it really good till it didn't have any color coming out of it anymore. And so I've done that as a precaution and then caked it up. So that way I'm also getting a feel for how soft it's going to be and everything, and it actually feels good against the skin. It does feel cool because Sea Cell is supposed to be not heat up on your skin and kind of help you stay cooler temperature. So that's one of the things I'm excited about with it. And this thing is going to bang around and make noise. And I am so sorry for anyone, give you an idea what it looks like in the cake, for anyone that has headphones on. I'll do my best to edit it out. So this is, this will be an ongoing project. There's no rush on it because of the fact that it'll be for next spring and summer and everything. But there is a rush on it because with it being such tiny stitches and everything, I'm wanting to get it done and just be able to enjoy it because it is 3.25 millimeter US 3 needles that I'm using. Okay, so the last, is this the last one? Yes, this is the last one of mine that I'll be talking about. This is what I'm calling my winter coat because here in Texas, we don't need anything really heavy, but I did want something substantial enough. And with it being made from Cascade 220 non-superwash wool, held together with some camel and silk from Swiss Mountain fiber, I'm keeping it in a knit bag. So this is the Big Triangle by Hinterm Stein. And it's the first time I have knit something so fitted. So I had to do a swatch, which I told y'all about before. I was so proud of myself. And I'm working with a cone. Here we go. The cone is of the camel. So this is an at-home project for sure. And I'm almost done with my first skein. Is this my first skein or is it my second? No, I think this may be my second skein. Is it? You look for ends. Yes, this is actually my second skein of Cascade 220, and it is non-superwash. So I wanted the properties of the non-superwash and the camel for the warmth and everything. And let me get this turned around here. Because I have joined it under the arm. This will be easier to show you on. Here we go. There is just a lot of detail that she has put in to this jacket. This will actually fold over, I believe, a bit. And the button band will come up to it. But I love the shoulders. Look at that. And the sleeve cap. Now this is all using picked up stitches. It's not done in pieces. It's all one piece. And you know, I hate sewing. So at the end, there's not supposed to be more than about an inch of sewing other than the buttons to do. Otherwise, it's all weaving in stitches and picking up stitches. And these princess lines, which I'm hoping I'm doing right. And that will curve around for just a beautiful accent. And I really love, because you take this bright, bright yellow, you add in the camel, and it just makes such a big difference in the fabric. But it's actually coming along quite well. And it fits me good. I can't show you right now because I'm in the middle of a row under the arm. But all the garter detail here. I am so glad that I am trying out one of her patterns, and the pattern is very clear. It just has all the detail there, and I am just so enjoying it. And I can't wait to have this done and be wearing it this winter. So that will become my winter coat. As you know, I've got tons and tons of other under construction items over there. And I'm just picking out a couple at a time and working on them and just working away. But next up, I wanted to go over something with you in techniques with Bill. If you're new here, Bill is my brother. He does not care to come on screen very much. Every once in a while, which you'll see some pictures here of him because I've asked him if I can interview him and he said no. So I'm not pushing my luck because he's still feeding me all this great information, and he has been knitting for years and years and years and years. And so he is a great source of information for me. And he is retired now, so he is exploring his stash quite a bit, reclaiming yarn and just having a blast. So he decided he was wanting to make himself a polo for the summer. So here's a picture of it. And let me tell you a little bit about this. So he created this men's polo based on Ann Budd's set-in sleeve pattern. He replaced the neckline with a placket and polo collar and did it in short sleeves. The sleeve cap was adapted from Elizabeth Zimmerman's kangaroo pouch sweater that she published in her spring 1968 newsletter, number 20. And he adapted it by not knitting around for the 1 inch that it called for, but he went immediately into the shaping after picking up the stitches. At the bottom of the collar, to give it a little bit more structure, he doubled it and then stitched it together. So he came down and just did it on both sides and then picked up those stitches up and knit them together after 1 inch to give it just a little bit more structure for around the collar, and then putting it down into the single layer. To make this, he used Cascade yarn Pandemonium, number 34 in warm olive. It's a DK weight yarn, 55% cotton, 45% bamboo, and 273 yards to 100 grams. I'm not sure how many skeins he used, but it's machine washable. But Bill is just starting to experiment with cotton yarns and garments. And so he thought the bamboo would help it not stretch as much. He has learned his lesson. As you can see, it looks great on him. It fits him really well. But the longer he wears it, the warmer he gets through the course of the day. If he sweats or anything, it starts stretching. So it can reach below his hips down towards his knee. So this is he's testing out these different yarns and seeing what they do. So for me, I would be fine with that as long as I did a high neckline. And I mean, it works great for him because he's looking for different summer wears for himself. And so for that, it works good. Okay. So I will put all the information I just gave you just now because he does not have his stuff on Ravelry to show, but as far as a link. So I'll put all this information that I just went over down in the notes for his. If you want to go and explore and see about meshing together some different base patterns and see what you can do to create your own project. Okay. So that's it for the knitting and crochet content. If you're not interested in the Life Happens section, that's fine. Thank you for joining me here. And I have some more upcoming videos coming soon. So you're going to see a lot of me over this next month because I just came away from last weekend, the DFW Fiber Fest 20th anniversary, that I'm not sure if that's going to end up being 1 or 2 videos. I wanted to share with you a video, kind of a tasting I've been doing with Circulo yarns, because on the Lamb Yarn Shop in Grapevine, where I go a lot, she has become the main supplier in the Metroplex for a large quantity of different ones of the Circulo yarns. So she's kind of their hub for our Metroplex, and I've been playing around with some of their yarns. Then I also will be going to another yarn tasting next week, I think. Yeah, in about 2 weeks, I guess. And so I will share that with my findings and everything with you on that as well. And that'll be hosted over at Juju Knits if you're in the area and want to check out on her webpage. She's got some information on it. So that's just a little bit of what's coming up quickly. I'm sorry, I'm basically feast or famine right now. You see a lot of me, so just, if you don't want to watch me right away, just put me on the back burner, come back to me, I'm here. Okay, so for life happens. The reason it's been so long since you've seen me this time was basically for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I have had something weird happening to me pretty much every week, health-wise. And it usually happens on Mondays or weekends, and it's just weird stuff that's unexplainable for me. I've gone from, and a lot of it can be traced back to stress. In fact, I come in with some of these things at work and my boss is like, "Are you stressed?" And I'm like, "Hello, have you met me? I'm stressed. Yes." I am knitting through my stress. Hello. Yes. But I'm okay physically. I've just had, as far as I know, I still have some more testing to do. But I've gone from, prior to this last 2 months, I've only ever had a fever blister once. I've had it twice now, a month apart. Same place. So y'all did not want to see that. Then I had a Monday to where I had gas pains so bad in my stomach that it felt, I was doubled over, had to go home from work. Seaver actually had to come pick me up because I couldn't drive. I could barely walk, and it felt like labor pains. It was that extreme. So I've got to get some testing done on that. So I had another week where I had another fever blister come up. I woke up one Monday morning and half my face was swollen. The bags under my eyes, I could literally see just glancing down, and it felt like I had a hand pressing on my face. They figured that was me reacting strangely to some ibuprofen I had taken in the night. I'd had a reaction to it. Apparently, it can cause, according to this doctor, it can cause swelling in different parts of the body. And then this last weekend, I ended up in the emergency room. And that's part of the DFW Fiber Fest video. So I'm going to leave it there. And just, I got attacked, got some where are they? I can't see it in this light, but I got some bruises from IVs and stuff. But I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Otherwise, but that's kind of where I have been and why you guys have not seen me, because like I said, I've had notes going for a few weeks and it hasn't happened. So I wanted to at least not look like I was dead or dying and not be burping in the middle of the video and all that stuff. So I'm now on a I've never had acid reflux issues in my life, and now I have that too. That started this last month. And so I'm on a very mild diet, chicken and rice type stuff, being very careful with my spices. And I love jalapenos. I love Mexican food. I love Italian food, but even pizza I reacted to. So I am not happy with my food at the moment. My body is not happy with me at the moment. So that's a little bit of what's been going on. I'm playing with my camel right here. It's so soft. Okay, so I'll put that back. So that is basically it for right now. I am excited about going into fall and winter and hopefully having a little calmer time. I am ready. If you see up here, I'm already getting ready for December and doing Advent. That up there is actually from Mandy with Mouse Witch Yarn. Before all the tariff stuff happened, she got that to me, and it is a week. I purchased the weekly Advent. So we're going to play with that. And then a friend of mine that I met through the fiber community, we are actually making each other scrappy Advents. And so I am going to, I've got her pile of things over here that I need to get bagged up and everything for scrappy Advent that I'm going to send to her, and she's going to send me a scrappy Advent that I'm going to be opening up during Advent daily vlogs. So I didn't purchase a daily one this year. I don't every year just because of cost and everything, and I have added to my stash. No, I'm not showing it all to you right now. And no, it wasn't all during DFW Fiber Fest, but I have been finding some different yarns on sale, and I'm buying larger quantities with specific projects. So I'll show you that as the projects come about. All right, so I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you enjoy the end of September, and I will see you probably pretty quickly in the next week or two. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to do a drawing. I do need to do a drawing. Okay, so if you watched the Cascade yarn tasting video, episode 30, and commented on it, you are eligible for a drawing for, let me get it. Okay, so as I said, I'm holding on to my Cascade bag, but the other items that I won in drawing are being gifted out, and they were 2 skeins of Cascade yarn Woolpaca, which is 60% Peruvian Highland wool, 40% superfine alpaca. And I think this is what Bill made his purple zipper cardigan out of, if I'm remembering right. I'm not sure. And they also had gifted me a double black diamond scarf pattern. Sorry, it has gotten a little crinkled up with being stored. So I am going to do a random comment picker. I will put the winner right here. So if you are the winner, please do contact me either through Instagram, email, or Ravelry, all as Belinda's Baubles or belindasbaubles@gmail.com, and send me your address, and I will get this mailed out to you. Sorry, I almost forgot about that. And that really is it for me now. So I will see you guys soon. Bye.